What if I told you that termites, yes, those tiny blind insects, know more about your spiritual life than most people do? What if beneath the floorboards and inside tree trunks, a divine secret is being played out every day? A mystery about obedience, unity, destruction, and unseen enemies. This is not just a story about termites. This is about you and what's really going on behind the surface of your life. Long before humans built cities, long before kings wore crowns, the earth buzzed with life unseen. Beneath the surface, colonies of termites carried out their quiet sacred work. They were blind, yes, but not foolish. They had been entrusted with an ancient knowledge, one whispered into their tiny spirits by the Creator himself. Build with purpose, work unseen, but do not destroy the living tree. They understood something most humans forget. Not all building is holy, and not all silence is peace. In the heart of an old forest, a termite queen reigned. Her name was Orelia, which means light, hidden in the dust. She was not beautiful by human standards, but she was powerful. She carried millions of lives inside her body, workers, soldiers, architects, and they all answered to her command. But she, in turn, answered to the voice. Orelia had one rule: never feed on the living wood. It was sacred. It still breathed with the breath of Elohim. It still carried sap, what the termites called God's tears. Dead wood was their calling. Ruins were their mission. And so they built and built, silently and secretly. One day into their forest came a tree like no other, tall, glorious, bark glowing gold in the morning sun. Birds sang on its branches. Rain glided down its leaves like a choir of whispers. But what set it apart was this: it spoke. The tree's name was Zekiel, and he was known as the prophet of the grove. He had stood for over 300 years, delivering divine songs to the wind, and he warned of what was to come. You termites, you are wise, but beware. The season of hunger is near. The forest is about to be tested. The old dead wood will vanish. Your appetite will rise. But do not devour the living. Orelia listened. The colony trembled. And the queen responded, we remember the command. We do not feast on life. But not everyone in the colony shared her reverence. In a dark, humid corner of the colony, a soldier named Karash began to murmur. He was strong, battle-hardened, respected, but something in him had shifted, an ache, a hunger. His armor was polished with pride, and his words sounded like wisdom. Why must we serve the dead? Why honor wood that cannot fight back? Why wait for it to rot? Life is full now, ripe. Look at the prophet tree. It stands fat with sap while we dig in dry bark. At first, the workers ignored him, but hunger makes even the wise weak. The famine came, just as Zekiel had said. The wind shifted. The dead trees fell into rivers. The ground dried, and the colony cried out. It was then that Karash struck. He led a secret swarm by night. They tunneled into Zekiel's roots, not with violence, but with whispers, with just enough gnawing to create an infection. They weakened the foundation while the queen prayed, and Zekiel wept. One morning the prophet tree shuddered. Birds flew away in terror. The ground shook, and with a thunderous crash, Zekiel fell. Orelia heard it. She felt it in her marrow. She sent her soldiers to investigate, and what they found horrified them. Karash had carved a tunnel into the very heart of the tree. He had led the others in a slow, deceptive feast. Zekiel's core was hollowed, his voice silenced, and with him, the blessing left. The soil grew thin, the sky dimmed, rain became rare. A curse had been unleashed, not from Zekiel, but from the divine order that had been broken. You fed on the living, and so now your life will feed on itself, said the voice. Karash was crowned by some. Some termites shouted he brought food, but the food was poisoned with guilt, and the colony began to die from within. Their tunnels turned against them, their homes caved in. The queen fell into a trance and could no longer speak. And Karash, he went mad, chewing endlessly, even as his mouth bled, trying to feel a hunger that had no end. Years passed. The forest became a wasteland. But one day, a traveler named Eliora, a woman of prayer and dreams, came walking through. She was drawn to the fallen tree, to its strange, hollow center. She knelt beside it and felt its sorrow. She placed her hand on the rotting bark and wept. What happened here? Eliora asked. And in that moment, a voice whispered in her ear, this is the fate of those who devour what is still alive, those who take from what is still becoming, those who use the sacred before it is ready. This is the way of hidden rebellion. It looks like innovation. It feels like survival, but it breaks the order. Eliora understood. She was a leader in her community. She had seen people, churches, families, businesses collapse not because of outside enemies, but because of inner termites. People who were blind to divine timing, who fed on the living, who hollowed out what still had purpose. Eliora quietly responded, Lord, am I hollowing anything? You're still growing. She stayed for hours. She prayed. And when she left, she carried a piece of Zekiel's bark, like a warning and a calling. Sometimes, it's not the storms that bring your collapse. It's the termites, small, silent choices eating away at your roots. Termites remind us of this. Not all building is blessed. Not all hunger is holy. Not every opportunity is your assignment. To take from what is still growing is to curse yourself. In the Bible, Eve reached for fruit that wasn't yet hers. Saul offered sacrifice before the prophet arrived. Gehazi ran after silver too soon. Judas kissed Jesus for a reward not yet ordained. Each one hollowed out something divine, just like Karash. But there is hope. Zekiel's bark still speaks. The voice still whispers. And the Queen Orelia was restored in another forest where termites obeyed again. So ask yourself, what are you feeding on that still has divine sap? Are you honoring the dead but dishonoring the living? Are you Karash or are you Eliora? If this story stirred you, pause. Look at your life. Where are the termites? What trees are still speaking that you might be gnawing on out of impatience or pain? Take inventory of your spiritual appetite. Fast if you must. Pray like Orelia. Repent like Eliora. Ask the Lord to show you if you are hollowing the very blessing you prayed for. And most of all, don't feed on the living. Let God finish what He's growing. Build only on the dead wood He assigns. Share this story with someone who needs it. Subscribe for more spiritual wisdom wrapped in mystical tales.